Good morning students. Today we are going to continue our chapter number 2, that is work, power and energy. Last time we did 2a and this time we are going to start with part 2b, that is different forms of energy. And in this part 2b today we are going to start with mechanical energy. I hope everybody is aware about the definition of mechanical energy. Mechanical energy is what? It is the form of energy because of position and motion of the object. It is because of the position and motion of the object. That means two factors are in consideration over here. One is due to the position of the object and second is the motion. So depending on these two, we are dividing this mechanical energy into two parts. The one part is potential energy and the another part is kinetic energy. Potential energy is what? Potential energy is the amount of energy possessed by any of the object due to its position. Position with respect to Earth's surface and position with respect to the arrangement of the parts of that particular object. So this potential energy, it is the energy possessed by object or any body due to its position, due to change in its position or change in its configuration. Configuration means, configuration is arrangement of its different parts. So if the arrangement of parts will be changed, then there is a change in potential energy. If the position of the object is changed with respect to the Earth's surface, then that body possesses potential energy. Kinetic energy is what? Kinetic energy is the amount of energy possessed by the object due to its motion. Due to its motion. So this is all about two different types of mechanical energy. One is potential, another one is kinetic. Now we are going to study one by one these of two in detail. Till now you have studied that potential energy is equal to half m, this is equal to mgh. You just wrote down that formula, but from where that formula comes into consideration, that we are going to learn today. You learned that kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. From where we got that formula, today we are going to learn that one. Okay, so let's start with potential energy first. I said potential energy is the energy possessed by the object due to change in its position with respect to Earth's surface and due to change in its configuration. That means potential energy is divided into two parts. It is of two types. One is gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy, and second is elastic potential energy. Elastic potential energy, the energy which is because of the change in position of the object with respect to Earth's surface, because this term gravitation, that is related to Earth's surface. Okay, so if the object, this is the Earth's surface and object is placed over here, so with respect to the surface of Earth, the height of the object is noticed. If the height changes, if the object is moved from A to B, that means the potential energy also changes, because the value of gravitational force which is exerted by the Earth on the object, that keeps on changes. That means this gravitational potential energy is the energy possessed by the object. It is the energy possessed by the object due to change in position of object with respect to Earth's surface. Earth's surface. Or what can you say? You can say it is the energy possessed by the object due to the gravitational force exerted by the earth onto the object. Anyways, you can write it down. Fine. What is elastic potential energy? Elastic potential energy, it is the amount of energy possessed due to change in configuration of the object. Change in configuration of the object. Or what can I write? Change in shape of the object, or shape of the object. If the object is deformed, if it is changing its original shape, due to that change in shape, what is the change in potential energy, what is the change in energy, and what is the amount of energy possessed by the object at that particular point? That is known as its elastic potential energy. Now let us study about these two in detail, how we got the formula for potential energy, and in terms of work done, how can we write down the definition of these two. Let us start with the first one, that is gravitational potential energy. As I told you, this is the energy possessed by the object due to change in its position of object with respect to the earth's surface. That means what we are saying here, if the object is brought at a position, suppose this is the position A and this is your earth's surface. If object is brought over here at position A with respect to earth's surface, from where the object has brought? From infinity to this point. So whatever is the amount of work done in bringing this object from infinity to this point, that is known as its potential energy. I'm repeating it. Whatever is the amount of work done in bringing this object from infinity to this point A, that is known as its potential energy. That means potential energy in terms of work done, means this gravitational potential energy in terms of work done is written as, I'm writing it over here, it is the amount of work done in bringing the object from infinity to a point with respect to Earth's surface. This point is with respect to Earth's surface, and whatever work is done in doing this, that is known as its gravitational potential energy. And that work we are able to do because of the gravitational force which is exerted by the Earth onto this particular object. This Earth's surface is exerting a gravitational force onto the object, and because of that this work done is possible, and this complete is stored as in the form of energy, that is known as gravitational potential energy. Okay, this is one. The another one is elastic potential energy. Suppose when you are talking about the bow and arrow, okay, so you are stretching this bow, so the position of that bow, that will be changed, and that bow has a form of energy stored in it because of the stretching of that rubber band, and that stored energy, that is known as elastic potential energy. That is known as elastic potential energy. So that means the amount of energy possessed by any of the object when it is changing its shape, that is known as elastic potential energy. Now the question is, how can we write down this in terms of work done? So in terms of work done, what can we say? The amount of work done in deforming the object, that is known as elastic potential energy. This is amount of work done in deforming, means changing the shape, in deforming the object, that is known as elastic potential energy. Now the main thing is we need to learn how we reached on the formula that potential energy is given by mgh, because still starting from standard 5 you all keep on learning that potential energy is given by the formula mgh. How we derive this formula mgh? Let us learn about that. Potential energy, that is given by mgh. Okay, how we reached over here? Okay, From this definition, I told you the gravitational potential energy, that is given by amount of work done in bringing the object from infinity to a point. That means work done is given by what? Work done formula is force into displacement. So I can write here force into displacement. Okay, as you all are aware about that, displacement is given by S. Okay, that is written by S and force is written by F. So I can write it W is equal to F into S. And this work done is equal to what? This is the potential energy. So we can say potential energy is equal to F into S. Which force is this? This is the gravitational force which is exerted by the earth onto the object. So the gravitational force which is exerted on any of the object, that is given by m into g. That is the mass of the object and this is acceleration due to gravity. जितना उस ऑब्जेक्ट का वेट होता है उतना ही ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स एटलीस्ट अर्थ उसके ऊपर एक्सर्ट करती है. सो दैट इज गिवन बाय m into g. That means what I want to say is, suppose this is the object and the mass of object is m. Then the force, gravitational force exerted on this mass m, if this is the earth surface, by the earth surface, that is m into g. And displacement is, this is the height up to which this object is reached. And suppose this height, this displacement is given by h. So this can be written as h. So this potential energy can be written as mgh. This is how we got the formula for potential energy, that is m into g into h. Okay. Now one more thing you need to remember is, when we are talking about increase in height of any of the object with respect to the earth surface. Suppose this is the earth surface and this object initially is at point A and this is height h1 and later on it will be taken to this point B and this height is h2. That means if height is increased with respect to the earth surface, there is increase in potential energy. There is increase in potential energy of the object. As you are aware here, h2 is greater than h1. So when we are talking about the object is raised from the earth surface, so there is increase in potential energy and that increase in potential energy is given by mgh2, because this is the largest height, greatest height, h2 minus mgh1, or what can you say, mgh2 minus h1. And the reason is why h2 minus h1, because h2 is greater than h1. So always आप हमेशा बड़े में से छोटे को subtract करते हैं. So what is the increase in potential energy? This is given by this formula. But reverse to this, if the object is falling from a height, it is showing decrease in height after a passage of time, then what will happen? Then there will be loss in potential energy. How it happens? Initially the object is at this position B, this is height h2. If it is falling this way, अब ये ऐसे नीचे आ रहा है, then after some time it will reach at this point A, this is h1. So now what will happen? There is decrease in potential energy. Okay, and how that decrease is given? Decrease in potential energy is given as mg. Again, this height is h2, this is h1. So h2 is greater than, or we can reverse it. How can we reverse it? Otherwise both the formulas will be same. I am saying this is initial position h1 and now the decrease is shown by h2. In this case h1 is greater and h2 is less. So you can write h1 minus mgh2. This will be given as mg h1 minus h2. Why this happens? Because in this case h1 is greater than h2. So this can be written as decrease in kinetic energy, or you can say loss in kinetic energy. You can show it this way, mg h1 minus mg h2, that will be mg h1 minus h2, that is h1. Why it happens? Because h1 is greater than h2. This is all about what we can say about your potential energy, right? Now we are going to start with kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? We have done that kinetic energy is the energy possessed by the object due to its motion. And from this expression, I hope all of you learned that to find out the formula, we need to learn that energy in terms of work done. So here also we are going to talk about the same. The kinetic energy is the energy possessed by object due to its motion. In terms of work done, how can I write? I can write it is the amount of work done by the object before it comes to rest. Before it comes to rest. This is known as its kinetic energy. How can we say it? Suppose this is a car, okay, and it is moving with some velocity v or something like that. Initial velocity, suppose u, okay. After the passage of time t, this car comes to rest. That means the final velocity will be 0. But before coming to rest, this car has done some work, and all that work is stored in the form of kinetic energy in this object. Are you getting it? This is a car. Initially it is moving with velocity u. After some time we are applying the brakes and finally the car comes to at rest. The velocity will be 0. But before coming to this velocity 0, this car has traveled a distance, it has done some work, and that work done by the car, that is stored in the form of kinetic energy in the car. So what can we write? This is the amount of work done by the object before it comes to rest. Okay, or what can we say? Reverse way we can say, to stop this we are applying some force. कितना फोर्स हमें लगाना पड़ेगा? जितना इसने एनर्जी स्टोर किया है उतना बराबर का हमें फोर्स लगाना पड़ेगा उसको रोकने के लिए. उतना ही एनर्जी हमें लगाना पड़ेगा उसको रोकने के लिए. जितना एनर्जी इसके अंदर है उतना ही एनर्जी आपको लगाना पड़ेगा बाहर से कि ये रुक जाए. Am I right? So what else you can write here? You can write in this term also. It is the amount of work done. It is the amount of work done by the retarding force, because we are applying the brakes and brakes are showing which kind of force? Retarding force. By the retarding force, क्या होता है इससे? To bring the object, to bring the moving object in rest. So anyway you can write it down in terms of work done. Kinetic energy is the energy possessed by the due to the motion of the object. And what can we write down in terms of work done? Amount of work done by the object before it comes to rest. जितना काम object ने करना था जब तक वो rest में नहीं आया, that is known as its kinetic energy. In terms of force, कितना force हमने apply किया अगर उसमें लिखना हो, the amount of work done by the retarding force, because retarding force is decreasing the acceleration and then the final acceleration will be 0. So the amount of work done by the retarding force to bring the moving object to the rest, that also can be written as the definition of kinetic energy in terms of work done. Now the question is how to reach the formula of this kinetic energy. I am doing it over here. Just have a look there, beta. Suppose this is an object, okay, mass of the object is m, moving with initial velocity u. After applying brakes or after applying retarding force, it comes to rest. So the final velocity given is final velocity, that is equal to 0. V is equal to 0. Okay. The distance covered by this or the displacement covered by this object, that is S. And how much time it took to complete this displacement? Suppose t. As we are saying, we need to apply some retarding force on this. That means retardation is required here. Then retardation at which it is changing its acceleration, that is A. Suppose that is A. And retarding force I am writing as, retarding force is written as F. So these all are the initials which I am using. Suppose This is the object with mass m. Initially it is moving with velocity u. Its final velocity will be 0 after it retards at the rate of a. The distance covered by the object is s and the retarding force is denoted by f. Okay. Now how can we write down? We can say the kinetic energy is equal to amount of work done. Okay, work done is what? That is force into displacement. Which force we are talking about here? Retardation force. Because we are stopping the object, we are bringing the object to the rest. So this is retardation force. Retardation force is always given by m into a. Right? This is mass, this is retardation. Fine. Into s. Now we are not aware about the value of s, but we can find it out by using Newton's third equation of motion. Newton's third equation of motion says v square minus u square is equal to 2as. V square is the final velocity. In this case, what will be the final velocity? 0. Minus u square. What is the initial velocity? U itself, that is u square is equal to retardation, that means negative acceleration, minus 2. Acceleration is or retardation is a itself and the displacement is s itself. So this will be cancelled out. You can say u upon 2a, u square upon 2a, that is equal to s. We calculated the value of s from here. Now substitute this value of s into this. You'll get the value of kinetic energy. This kinetic energy will be given by what? That is m into a into s. Instead of s, I am writing here u square upon 2a. This a will be cancelled out, so that will be written as mu square by 2, or you can say 1 by 2 mu square. And this is what we are talking about. This is what we are doing, the formula of kinetic energy as usual, which you are doing from standard 5 till now. This is kinetic energy is equal to half mu square. This is how we derived this formula. I am just recapitulating it once. Object mass moving with initial velocity u, final velocity will be 0, the distance travelled will be s, and the retardation to bring the body to the rest is a. Retarding force is given by F. So as we have done, kinetic energy is the amount of work done by the retarding force to bring the object in rest. So what can we say here? Kinetic energy is the work done, force into displacement. Which force? Retarding force. Displacement is S. Retarding force is given by mass into retardation, m into a. We need to find out the value of S. We can use Newton's third equation of motion. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. From here V is 0. We can find out the value of S. S is equal to u square upon 2a. Substitute this value of S into this equation and you will get kinetic energy is equal to half mu square. Fine. Now we can have one relation between kinetic energy and momentum. As such, it is not required over here, but there are few numericals given in your book where you can use it directly to find out the relation between kinetic energy and momentum. Means how kinetic energy and momentum related to each other. So kinetic energy is given by beta g half mv square and momentum is given by m into v. From here we can find out the value of v, that is equal to p upon m. Substitute this value of v over here and you can find out the relation between kinetic energy and momentum. Kinetic energy will be given by what? This is 1 by 2 m. This is p square upon m square. So this m will be cancelled. This is p square upon 2m. This is how kinetic energy and momentum are related to each other. If you need it in doing your numericals, you can use this formula directly from here. Or you can say this kinetic energy into 2m is equal to p square, or p is equal to under root kinetic energy into 2m. You can use this also. Okay, whatever is the requirement, accordingly you can use it. Fine. Now beta ji, next thing which we are going to do is that is work energy theorem. This is work energy theorem. What it says, work energy theorem. This says whenever we are applying force. Okay, before that, just listen to me. If we are applying force onto the object, what can be the possibilities? Two possibilities are there. Either the object will come to rest if we are applying the force in the opposite direction, or the velocity of the object will increase if we are applying the force in the direction of motion of object. Right? Suppose this is the ball, and if we are, this is moving in this direction. If we are applying the force in this direction, definitely the ball will stop after some time. Okay, but what if we are applying force in this direction? In this case, the velocity of the object increases. If in this case the velocity of the object increases, and what will be this increase in velocity, or how can we find out this increase in velocity in terms of work done? That we are going to learn here in work energy theorem. Means what I want to say is, if we are applying force onto the moving object in the direction of motion of object, the work done by the object is given by the increase in its kinetic energy, because if the velocity increases, kinetic energy also increases, right? So what work energy theorem says, according to this, if force is applied on the moving object, please remember this term beta ji, ये आपको जरूर लिखना है, on the moving object, because when we are talking about work energy theorem, हम moving object पर काम करते हैं, we are not working on to the object which is stationary. Okay, on to the moving object, the work done by the object is equal to the increase in kinetic energy. Because if we are applying the force, moving object you can write in the direction of motion of object here, in the direction of motion of object. In that case, the velocity increases. If the velocity increases, definitely kinetic energy also increases, and we can say that is equal to the increase in its kinetic energy. Fine. Now how to understand this, or how can we find it out? Yes, it is happening. So let us derive a relation for this. For this, what can we say? We can pick up the previous one topic over here. That is work done, or you can say kinetic energy is given by work done by the retarding force, or by the force, any force it can be. So when we are talking about work done, that is given by force into displacement. Okay, the force we are saying that is given by m into a. This is force. Okay, if the speed increases, this is acceleration. If the speed decreases, it is retardation. S, this we don't know. Okay, if we are talking about any of the object m, and this object is moving with initial velocity u, after time t, means after time t or within time t, it accelerates at the rate of a, and the final velocity reaches to v. Now we are not stopping the object, we are not bringing the object to the rest, we are saying the final velocity will become v. Okay, and the distance traveled by the object is s. So again we can use what? We can use Newton's third equation of motion, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Let us find out the value of s from here. What can we say? V square is the final velocity, that is correct, we need not to change it. U square is the initial velocity, correct. A is the acceleration, that is also correct. So we need not to change any values over here, already we have written the values. V square minus u square upon 2a, that is equal to s. Now substitute this value of s over here. Okay, what can you get? Kinetic energy is equal to m into a, v square minus u square upon 2a. This a will be cancelled, so it will be m v square upon 2, this multiplied here and divided by 2, minus m u square upon 2. This is what? Half mv square. This is final kinetic energy, minus half mu square by 2. This is इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी, दैट मीन्स दिस इज चेंज इन काइनेटिक एनर्जी. फाइनल में से इनिशियल को माइनस करोगे तो क्या आ रहा है आपके पास? Change in kinetic energy. So this work done by the object is equal to the increase in kinetic energy or change in its kinetic energy. This is what we said in the statement and what we proved over here. Okay, so I hope you are able to do all the topics which we have done today. Rest of the topics which are given in your book are beta ji, these are related to forms of energy. Means they are talking about if we are talking about electromagnet, which form of energy is converted into which one. I hope these all things you are able to do yourself, so I am leaving these for you. These are not skipped from the syllabus, you have to do it, but you can do it on your own. So do all these, try your exercise 2B, and if doubts will be there, you can ask me. Fine? Okay ji.